short like a bullet. Bullet, bullet, yo. Nigga short like a shorty sport. I think she ready. Yeah. Hey, y'all know what the fuck time it is. I ain't gotta explain too much shit. This damn laptop need to be updated, y'all, so we might get a little lagging. Hence why I ain't really been screaming like that or doing videos. Cause right now I just don't got enough time to be trying to like pay attention to this shit. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, even though like this kind of what I do. But that's besides the point. Anyway, I told y'all I was coming back. I know y'all didn't think I was today, but guess what? Jokes on motherfucking you. Cause guess what? I'm back in this bitch anyway, and I'm drunk. So who gives a fuck? Anyway, uh, on the top of your head like Eddie Griffin. See, that's why I don't be liking to hook this down. What's my face up? How on the top of your head like Eddie Griffin know me? It's hot as fuck. Okay. This about to come out because I'm hot. So yeah. All right. It was nice fucking. It was nice fucking knowing you, I guess, bitch. But you gotta go, bitch. Fucking, fucking get this bitch the boot. Check it out. I see this shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That didn't go as planned. Hold on. Hey! Get that bitch the boot. All right, all right, all right. Drunk Chronicles. All right, let's go. All right, one more shot. Hold on. One more shot before we start. Hold on. One more shot before we start. Hold on. One more shot before we start. Hold on. Hold on. One more shot. Hold on. I'm on the top of your head like Eddie Griffin. Hey, you know where to forward up. Shit, shit, shit. God damn it. All right. Enough of the bullshit, chat. Let's go. Let's lock in. What we got? I don't know really. I don't know. I feel like anything tonight. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just going with the vibes. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, let's check out this dude. This dude is going crazy.
Minneapolis, come get them. They are trying to get the God in Minneapolis. Come get them. Just drop your low. Whoever want it, drop your low. I'll pull up. Biggs. You know what? Power. Like, bro, y'all niggas are straight goofy. I'm at the crib in all black. Ghost out. Get with me. I'm gonna go to y'all little corporations, y'all little jobs, and tell them that they just tried to pack me out of there because look at me, I'm God. Fuck you talking about? Come on, get out with me. Stop me before I do it. Let me charge my phone. I'm going to the first job I see for. There's not gonna be no business or anything, but y'all bitch ass in charge. Fuck out of here, nigga. I have my people follow me and slam y'all bitch ass. Watch me. Yeah, I was tough, nigga, tough as shit. You weren't able to stop me as a kid. You ain't gonna stop me at 23 in my prime, nigga. I told y'all bitch ass, I'm rich, nigga. And no nigga stopping shit. You get up on me, I'm throwing your ass back. This is my world, nigga.
Following new developments in separate shootings that are now connected.
3 cousins are dead. The youngest is a 14-year-old boy. Another, the suspected gunman, is dead after a gunfight with police.
Fam, how many of us heard or said you never know what somebody really going through? Going through it mentally is a real thing. Some people may think it's not, but it is. And so are the consequences that come with it. A little more than 72 hours before I hit record on this video, a man was killed by local authorities in Minneapolis after going on a crime spree that left 2 of his own cousins dead. And what makes this story even more chilling, the signs were all over his social media. Today we gotta talk about a man who was released from jail, and just hours later, he killed 2 of his own family members. Some people say you could tell he was going through it. Let's be real. Jail can put anybody in a dark place. You got isolation, humiliation, and a mental strain. That environments change people. But according to what I found, it didn't just start in jail. The day he was incarcerated, he posted on Facebook 89 times. Not once, not twice, not even 3, but 89 times. He even reposted his own wanted poster, the same one tied to the 2025 crime that he eventually got indicted for months later in January of 2026. And when I started digging through his page, the red flags were everywhere. He called out family members at least 12 times back to back the day he got arrested. Spoke about not knowing how to read, said people were laughing at him, and he felt like he was being talked about. He went live multiple times.
Did it just say not knowing how to read? Sir, this is 2026, my guy. It's so much shit out here that's gonna teach your ass how to read, and you taking your time to get on Facebook and make videos instead of learning how to read.
We're gonna look at some of that. But what shocked me the most is after allegedly committing the murders, before authorities caught up with him, he went back to Facebook and bragged.
Fam, if you like me, you paying when it's time for taxes. You're not getting no return. So with that being said, in the bio, it allows you to make some money. Click the link, get $5 for choosing my link and my Q.
We're gonna disclose who this man is, identify and honor the victims, break down the timeline, examine this digital trail, and ask the hard question: were the warning signs ignored? But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Find me 23-year-old Eddie Duncan from Minneapolis. According to his Facebook, he rep there and Chicago. He go by EBK Eda. He's an inspiring rapper, and just like a glimpse of the long-loved drill era, he had a passion for flashing firearms on his social media.
Got a whole lot of cheddar over here, come and get with it. Last nigga that you had, why ain't no shit, baby, I'm different. Go, brother, go. Go, brother, go. Go, brother, go. Go, brother, blow.
It seemed prior to the recent incident, Eddie had no criminal history. But back in the summer of 2025, Eddie fled police with a firearm and a switch, going close to 90 miles per hour, 30 miles over the current speed limit where he was at before crashing. He didn't get caught then, but he'll later get indicted months later in January of 2026. By February 2nd, 2026, it was a wanted poster floating around on social media with his face on it. At that point, police gave a little more details about his charges. They said it stemmed from an attempt traffic stop for speeding and running a red light in Robbinsdale last May. Duncan initially pulled over, but then took off at a high speed. He eventually crashed and fled on foot. At the vehicle, police found Duncan's cell phone and a Glock with an auto-sear and an extended magazine holding 29 rounds and a round in the chamber. For those who don't know, the auto-sear is what they use in the street term as a switch, and for weeks he would be on the run. But on February 15, 2026, as mentioned at the very beginning of the video, he made over 80 posts on Facebook, and more than 10 of them was reposting his wanted picture, antagonizing the police, but they were just getting his location after each post. But before he got arrested and he made all them posts, some of them worth mentioning to you guys, fam. More than 15 was, don't trust my family. They been hurting us. Another one was, Naj laughed at me for not fucking knowing how to fucking read or whatever. But like, dude, you're so fucking dumb. You knew I was God, and you left me in the fucking room, in the house by myself on social media, knowing them God goes an idiot at the same time. Like, you gotta be some of the dumbest people ever, giving me the obvious hits, saying like, oh yeah, they're gonna be weird and touch on you. And that was y'all doing that shit. Bro, y'all tried to make it tough for me, like I was tripping. And I thought I was a bad person. And I was like, why? Bro, it was really y'all. Bro, like, I'm kinda confused. I just really need to smoke this whole time. That's all they had to do. But y'all some weirdos, and y'all need to go. Now, I don't know if it's some truths to this message, but you could tell he was going through it. And he indicating possibly, allegedly getting fondled with before. And not only mentioning it, but going as far as being direct by saying Naj. And you could tell he was tripping. He kept saying he was God. But you could tell he was on something as well, because he also wrote day 4, no sleep, up. Also, before he went in, it seemed like he was dissing somebody on live. Check out a small 90-second clip.
Box in the back, this shit get for real. Brr. Really have any skill, get up on me, let's get killed. All y'all niggas, I swear to God, all y'all niggas is dead in my eyes, bro. Y'all niggas know that shit. Rapists.
Yes, bro. Y'all niggas know that shit. Fucking rapists.
Niggas fucking got up on me, acting like I did something. Y'all niggas on my mama, we up there. Go, y'all ass over with. Beef.
So yeah, fam, I couldn't play the entirety of that word, that R word for YouTube guidelines before we continue. But he's standing on what he said in that post, which probably makes sense on why he flashing out like he did. But let's continue.
My brother, I'm the father. Niggas is not over me. Fuck what you talking about? Well, bro, get in the field. Get in the field. Go. I'm finna go to y'all little corporations, y'all little jobs, and tell them that they just tried to pack me out of there because look at me, I'm God. What you talking about? Come on, get out with me. Stop me before I do it. Let me charge my phone. I'm going to the first job I see for you. It's not finna be no business right today, but y'all bitch out of here, nigga. Man, go, 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 go. I'm signing me a meal. I have my people follow me and slam y'all ass. All I need is one. That's all I need is one. Fuck. Watch me, nigga. Watch me, nigga. Yeah, I was tough, nigga. Shit, you weren't able to stop me as a kid. You ain't gonna stop me at 23 in my prime, nigga. I told you, I'm rich, nigga. And no nigga stop. You get up on me, I'm doing ass bad. This is my world, nigga. All that fat, man. Niggas are smack. Come on, brother. Join up. Let's talk that shit. Let's see who more active. Let's see who get active. Bro, I'll punch it out with a nigga right now, bro. Get outside, bro. I ain't even got Blake. Y'all niggas, bro. We can punch it out. Y'all really getting me tight, folks. Fuck y'all on, bro.
Now, as you can see, it seemed like he was responding to someone who was also in his live. But later that evening, he would get arrested for that warrant he had in January for the incident that took place in May of 2025. But it's what happened during his time incarcerated that got his family scratching for answers. But exactly 1 week later, on February 23rd, 2026, Eddie would get released from the Hennepin County Jail after posting a $35,000 bail. At around 3:30 p.m., he went straight home to a residence on the 4200 block of Irvin Ave North. There inside was a grandmother and her grandchildren, all relatives to Eddie. Now some might call him crazy, but out of all the people that was in the home, he purposely went to two, and police had arrived. And so Eddie's cousin, ages 14 and 23, found suffering from a gunshot wound, later pronounced dead. May they rest in peace. A love of condolences to their family. Now Eddie had left the scene before officers later encountered.
Bro, what the 14? Bro, you 23 years old. Bro, you're 23, bro. What did the 14-year-old do to you? Bro, 14-year-old cousin at that. And you 23, gang. Come on, man. You serious?
Him in Brooklyn Center. About 30 minutes later, on the 5600 block of Brooklyn Boulevard, police get a report that a man was waving a firearm in a business parking lot. When police arrived, they located Eddie Duncan, armed with a handgun. According to Brooklyn Center Police preliminary investigation, Eddie fired towards officers as they approached, striking a fully marked car. Officers returned fire, striking Duncan, who ran a short distance before collapsing. Officers immediately rendered medical aid until paramedics arrived and transported Eddie to a local hospital, where he died from his injuries. May he rest in peace. A love of condolences to his family. No officers were hurt during the encounter. BCA identified 3 Brooklyn Center police officers who fired their department-issued firearms.
2 innocent lives that's gone for no reason. Don't do nothing to nobody.
Family members still searching for answers as court documents provide new details in a deadly police shooting that followed the killing of 2 cousins. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, we're learning more about the lives lost in a North Minneapolis shooting Monday. Family tell us that 14-year-old Xavier Barnett and 23-year-old Aquame Stewart were killed by their own cousin. A search warrant spells out just how close that shooter came to claiming more lives. Court records confirm that the suspect left the scene of the crime, then started shooting at police. The search warrant application says Eddie Duncan fired a gun at officers, striking 2 squads when police arrived in Brooklyn Center. Police say officers returned fire, shooting and killing him. New at 10, our Uba Ali talked with the sister of the 2 shooting victims and explains why they say the justice system failed their family, Uba.
Yeah, Aaron, a very emotional interview. 2 brothers, loved and full of promise, gone. The family says this tragedy could have been prevented. They blame the justice system for allowing bail and their own relatives that paid it.
I wish I could just get one more phone call and them asking me like where I'm at.
One more conversation, one more chance. That's all Deasia Freeman wants.
Well, you know my brothers would give you their last.
Police say Monday, 14-year-old Xavier Barnett and 23-year-old Kwame Stewart were shot and killed.
Like, why? Like, why did you do this to my family?
The accused gunman, their cousin, Eddie Duncan.
We grew up with Eddie and nothing was never like wrong with Eddie. So like this just was unexpected, like to take two innocent family members.
Court records show Duncan was released on bail Monday despite a pending psychological evaluation. Freeman says Duncan's family saw the warning signs and still bailed him out.
If y'all knew that he wanted to harm you all, why go bail him out of jail?
The Hennepin County Attorney's Office says they noted Eddie Duncan was a public safety risk and asked for a high bail, much higher than a typical request. Do you feel like the justice system failed y'all?
Yes, they did. They all failed us. We got two innocent lives that's gone for no reason.
This family has already buried another brother to gun violence, and they'd never imagined facing this kind of loss again.
We didn't even grieve over my oldest brother yet. It did. Two more brothers at once happened.
But even in the heartbreak, it's the memories of the good days carrying them through.
These my happy brothers. Like, I just miss their smile.
According to a court licensed examiner, without a violent criminal history, they had no way to keep Duncan in jail. The BCA is now leading the fatal police shooting in Brooklyn Center, and that obviously continues.
An investigation. All right, we appreciate it, Uba. Thank you.
Now that we have context,
Bro said, fuck it. He just gonna just crash all the way out on his own people. Bro, you got it. Then you ain't, I'm thinking you gonna go to at least, all right, cool. And it ain't cool, but I'm saying, all right, cool. We want to spaz, okay, we cool. We got a 23-year-old. Okay, maybe he done something to you. But his little brother, the kid, the dude, the little brother, and I mean, bro, that was crazy, bro. I mean, we gotta admit, that was crazy. That was crazy, bro. And 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 look, bro, people try to act and try to make like, oh, yeah, that's my family. Oh, yeah, but yeah, motherfucking family do your ass worse than the motherfucker in the street, bro. So that part, that part ain't overlooked. I ain't overlooking that part. But the crash out like that on them like that, come on, gang. You know what I'm saying? Crash out on them like that though. Come on, man. Rest in peace to them, bro.
when Eddie lost his life alongside his cousins, his sister went to Facebook and said the following. Nigga, everybody trying to make it seem like my brother was a demon or something. Nobody knew what he was fighting. Nobody knew what he was going through mentally. Post after post, Sam drag his name. What he did wasn't right at all. That ain't gonna stop me from loving or understanding him, nigga. None of y'all know him, nigga. Long live my innocent cousins, and long live my brother. Nigga, I'm hurt, and F the outside noise. Now, fam, we truly don't know what was the cause until it's in black and white. And even still, that might not be the true cause, because the only person that can speak is no longer here. Now, it's imperative that we thread light with this situation, because for a man to come on social media and admit that, you know, he was possibly allegedly fondled with, it take courage. And I can only imagine what one man can go through knowing that allegedly came from your own blood, let alone happening, period. It do make sense on why somebody would crash out, though it don't justify the actions. Like we said at the very beginning, mental is a problem that shouldn't be overlooked, because the consequences.
I missed that chat. I missed that part. Who he tried to say the two boys found her with him? Man, come on, man. Come on, man. Ain't no way he trying to say that them two boys found her with him. Ain't no way he trying to say that shit.
Will always be a problem. They'll never be overlooked. But as we head out of here, I want to talk about one post, the last post that he posted. Within that 30-minute span of those two incidents that we just covered, he went to Facebook and wrote, 2 down. Long live the guys, man. But there you have it, fam. That was the story of a man who was gunned down by authorities after allegedly killing his Two cousins, just hours after being released from jail, after exposing a dark secret in the family, allegedly, just 1 week prior, on the day he got arrested, after basically poking the bear when it come to authorities, knowing he was wanted, reposting his wanted flyer from the police Facebook page. Talk to me in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
I don't know, chat. Y'all gotta let me know what I missed on that. I ain't gonna take it back, but y'all gotta let me know what I missed, cause I must have missed important details on that, cause that was that was crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That was I don't know, shit just turning all on and shit. What the fuck going on? I'm drunk, but damn, what the fuck going on? Holy fuck. Felt like I was in a fucking magic show just now. Fuck. Alright, man, let's get back right. I don't know what the hell just going on. That's a lie. They said that dude is still alive. Oh, they shit him making fake news already, bro. Come on, man. Shit crazy, man. Hey, man, do more research on what you see, dog. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm saying a whole bunch of nothing on this bitch. What the fuck is Trump doing? Yeah, Chris Benoit. Yeah, bro, that dude killed everybody, man. That dude, that shit was crazy, gang. Yo, that shit was wild.
WWE in 2007 was off to a hot start. You had John Cena versus Shawn Michaels, Batista versus The Undertaker, and WrestleMania broke pay-per-view records with Trump shaving Vince bald. It seemed like the company had finally found its footing in the post-Attitude Era landscape, but then everything went downhill. What followed was an unprecedented cascade of real-world tragedies, career-ending scandals, devastating injuries, intense media scrutiny, exploding limousines, and government investigations that all culminated in the darkest period WWE had ever experienced. While the product on television still remained decent with stars like Cena, Batista, Edge, and Randy Orton leading the charge, behind the scenes, WWE was fighting for its very survival as controversies mounted week after week. So what exactly made 2007 the darkest year in WWE history? What were the tragedies, scandals, and disasters that almost caused the wrestling industry to crumble?
Allegedly, the industry, the WWE industry themselves unalived her. Allegedly. I don't know nothing about this. I'm just saying allegedly. That's all I'm saying.
Completely? And how did a company that started the year with such promise find itself desperately trying to rebuild its reputation from the ground up? Let's find out. Let's start by talking about the darkest tragedy in WWE history that changed everything. The weekend of June 24, 2007 began like any other pay-per-view weekend for WWE. WWE Vengeance was set to take place in Houston, and one of the most anticipated matches on the card was Chris Benoit defending his ECW championship against the up-and-coming CM Punk. But when showtime arrived, Benoit was nowhere to be found. Initially, WWE officials were told that Benoit couldn't make it due to a family emergency involving carbon monoxide poisoning at his home. While the news was concerning, these things happened occasionally in wrestling, and the show had to go on. Johnny Nitro was quickly substituted into the match, defeating CM Punk to become the new ECW champion. Throughout the night, fans and fellow wrestlers kept wondering where their beloved technical wrestler had gone. But behind the scenes, a much darker reality was unfolding. WWE officials couldn't reach Benoit by phone, and as hours passed without contact, panic began to set in. The company was already dealing with the fallout from Vince McMahon's exploding limousine segment, which was supposed to culminate in a special 3-hour tribute episode of Raw the following night. Instead, the planned McMahon Memorial Show was quickly scrapped when news broke that would change everything. On Monday afternoon, just hours before Raw was set to air, police discovered the bodies of Chris Benoit, his wife Nancy, and their 7-year-old son Daniel at their home in Fayetteville, Georgia. Initial reports suggested a possible family tragedy. Perhaps the carbon monoxide poisoning that had been mentioned earlier. In a state of shock and confusion, WWE made the decision to transform their planned McMahon tribute into a Chris Benoit memorial show. For 3 hours, WWE superstars sat with tears in their eyes, sharing memories of Benoit and showcasing his greatest matches. They showed his Royal Rumble victory, his WrestleMania triumph, and countless technical masterpieces that had made him one of the most respected wrestlers in the world. Edge broke down on camera. William Regal spoke about Benoit's dedication to the craft. It was a touching tribute to a man they all believed had died tragically alongside his family. But as the show progressed, more details began emerging from the police investigation. This wasn't a family tragedy or an accident, it was something darker. Chris Benoit had killed his wife Nancy, his son Daniel, and then taken his own life. The revelation hit WWE like a nuclear bomb. Vince McMahon, who had been dealing with his fictional death storyline, now faced a very real crisis that threatened to destroy his company's reputation forever. The next night on ECW, a visibly shaken McMahon appeared on television to address what had become apparent. With one of the angriest expressions ever seen on his face, he promised that Chris Benoit's name would never be mentioned on WWE programming again, but the damage was already done. The wrestling world had just broadcast a 3-hour tribute to a man who had committed one of the most heinous crimes imaginable, and mainstream media was about to pounce on the industry like never before.
remember this whole thing.
Within hours of the
I
Benoit
remember
tragedy
this
being
whole
revealed,
thing,
every
bro.
major news outlet in America descended upon pro wrestling like vultures. CNN, Fox News, ESPN, and countless other networks launched into wrestling with a vengeance. The narrative painted WWE and pro wrestling as a cesspool of steroid abuse and violence. When wrestlers like Kevin Nash appeared on Fox News to provide context and defend their industry, they were met with hostile interrogation rather than genuine discussion. The media's approach was ruthless and often dishonest. Anchors who had never watched a wrestling match in their lives suddenly became experts on the industry and painted every wrestler as a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. What made the media assault particularly devastating was its timing. Wrestling had already been dealing with public.
And if I'm not mistaken, after this event, the thing with like the bashing of WWE, everything, this shit went on for years after this. So I think probably up until like '07, '08 to like '09, '10, maybe even later than that. It went on for a couple years, bro. It went on for a couple years. I remember this shit vividly.
Public perception problems since the end of the Attitude Era, and this gave critics the ammunition they needed to paint the entire industry as irredeemably corrupt. But the media firestorm was just the beginning of WWE's problems, because as reporters dug deeper into the wrestling world, they uncovered a scandal that would forever change how WWE superstars looked and performed. As if the media scrutiny following the Benoit tragedy wasn't devastating enough, WWE was about to face an even more immediate crisis that would gut their roster and expose the widespread use of performance-enhancing drugs throughout the industry. The investigation had actually begun months earlier, in February 2007, when Sports Illustrated started looking into a potential steroid distribution network operating out of Florida. What started as a routine investigation quickly expanded into something much larger when major wrestling names began appearing in the records. Kurt Angle was the first major star implicated, though he denied any wrongdoing. But Angle was just the tip of the iceberg. On March 19, 2007, Sports Illustrated dropped a bombshell article revealing that multiple wrestlers had received prescriptions from Dr. David Wilbert in Arizona between November 2004 and April 2005. The initial list included names like Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Randy.
Yeah, that's my boy right there.
April 2005.
That's my boy
The initial
right there.
list.
Both of them. That's my boy right there, though. Rey Mysterio, that's my boy, man. Rest in peace, man. That's my boy, oh God.
Included names like Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, Edge, and Gregory Helms. Edge's response was particularly damaging to WWE's credibility. Rather than denying the allegations, he admitted to using steroids after his neck injury, explaining that they were prescribed to help the bones grow back around the screws and plates in his neck. The situation exploded on August 30, 2007, when the New York Daily News published a comprehensive list of wrestlers who had received steroids and other drugs from internet doctors. 12 current WWE wrestlers were named, and the fallout was catastrophic. Chavo Guerrero, Shane Helms, Randy Orton, John Morrison, Mr. Kennedy, Funaki, Charlie Haas, Umaga, William Regal, Edge, and several others were suspended for violating WWE's wellness policy. The timing couldn't have been worse. WWE was already dealing with the Benoit aftermath and intense media scrutiny. Now they were losing another dozen wrestlers to suspensions. Storylines had to be rewritten overnight. Umaga lost the Intercontinental Championship to Jeff Hardy, John Morrison was stripped of the ECW title and lost it to CM Punk, and countless other angles were abruptly terminated. But perhaps most heartbreaking was Mr. Kennedy's fall from grace. Kennedy had been positioned as WWE's next big star, chosen to be revealed as Vince McMahon's illegitimate son in what was supposed to be a career-defining storyline. Instead, his suspension ended his push, and the angle was quickly rewritten with Hornswoggle taking his place. The scandal didn't stop there. Congress got involved and demanded records from WWE dating back to 1998. TNA was also asked to provide information, making this an industry-wide crisis. But even as WWE reeled from suspensions and media scrutiny, their problems were about to get worse. As if the Benoit tragedy and steroids scandal weren't devastating enough for WWE's roster, 2007 also became a year where it seemed like every major star was cursed to suffer career-threatening injuries at the worst possible moment.
If y'all know who this is my favorite ref. I ain't gonna say it. Drop in the chat if y'all know who this is. Drop in the fucking chat if y'all know who this is, man. This is my favorite wrestler of all time. Hand down, give a fuck. From the young him to the old him, this is my favorite wrestler. I don't give no fucks. And I don't even watch wrestling no more. Ben stopped watching wrestling. Only reason I watch wrestling because my granddad. Facts. That's a fact. That's a fact.
The injury plague began early in the year when Triple H suffered a devastating quad tear that would sideline him for 7 months.
But I never watch. Hey, that's the thing. I ain't never got into new wrestling. Only old wrestling. I ain't never got into new wrestling. I can't even tell you a new wrestler name. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't even tell you a new wrestler name. I don't even, that shit over with. When they was getting their ass beat up for real, that's the wrestling that I like. When they ass catching concussions and shit for real, that's the wrestling I like, bro. All that fake ass anyway. Cause I don't know who watches, People believe what they believe. You understand what I'm saying? But for me, OG wrestling, that was the best times, man. Good times, good times.
The timing was horrible since Triple H was being planned for a high-profile WrestleMania rematch with John Cena, forcing WWE to completely rewrite their biggest show of the year at the last minute. Shawn Michaels stepped into Triple H's spot, creating one of the best matches in WrestleMania history with Cena, but losing HBK's original opponent meant further reshuffling of an already complicated card. The domino effect of a single injury was already causing problems, but this was just the beginning of WWE's medical nightmare. The Undertaker, who had been having a career renaissance with his world title run and matches against Batista, went down with a torn bicep that forced him out of action for months. Edge, fresh off winning the World Heavyweight Championship and positioned as SmackDown's top heel, suffered a pectoral injury that forced him to vacate the title he had just won. Bobby Lashley, who had been built as ECW's franchise player, also
I remember when he first came in.
Suffered injuries that disrupted his momentum. But perhaps the most devastating blow came when John Cena, WWE's undisputed top star and face of the company, tore his pectoral muscle in October. The injury bug was so severe that by the summer of 2007, WWE's main event scene had been reduced to Batista, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, and King Booker. When you combine the injuries with the suspensions, WWE
Hey, King Book. Hey, King. Hey, I always forget about King Book. King Book, boy. Hey, that joker there, boy. Damn, wrestling was, man. Look at Ric Flair. Damn, boy. The Golden Boy. God damn. Jesus.
was left with a roster so thin that they were forced to put the World Heavyweight Championship on the Great Khali, not because he was the best choice, but because he was one of the only credible heels left standing. But WWE's crisis went beyond just immediate injuries and suspensions. These mounting disasters forced the company to make changes that would reshape the wrestling industry forever. The mounting crises of 2007 forced WWE into a desperate period that would fundamentally alter the direction of pro wrestling forever. What emerged was a complete philosophical shift that transformed WWE from the edgy, controversial shows that had defined the Attitude Era into something entirely different. The most immediate change came in response to the Benoit tragedy and the growing understanding of CTE in the company. Unprotected chair shots to the head, which had been a staple of hardcore wrestling for decades, were immediately banned following the discovery that Benoit's
And this was shit changed right here. This was the change in wrestling right here. During this time right here, the years following this when you like, yeah, time to get wrestling though. It's no longer the same no more. You know what I mean? After they stopped taking them real shots to their head with that chair and shit. But you understand it though, man. That CTE, that shit is a real thing. Especially in sports. Um, that shit fuck you up, man. That shit fuck you up bad. You know what I'm saying? Get your brain shooken up, all the years and years abusing your brain, get shooken up like a motherfucker. You would be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So I understand it, bro. But yeah, this right here was definitely the change in wrestling for sure.
brain showed damage equivalent to an 87-year-old Alzheimer's patient. The company also implemented stricter concussion protocols and enhanced their wellness policy, which had originally been created after Eddie Guerrero's death. More frequent testing, stricter penalties, and increased medical oversight became the new standard as WWE tried to prove to critics that they were serious about performer safety. But the most visible change was WWE's gradual shift toward family-friendly programming. This wasn't entirely due to the 2007 controversies. There were financial incentives to pursuing a PG rating that would attract more mainstream advertisers and sponsors. However, the events of 2007 accelerated this transition dramatically. Network executives and advertisers who might have overlooked wrestling's edgier content were now actively distancing themselves from anything associated with WWE's violence and controversy. The move toward PG programming was evident in small changes at first. Hornswoggle began appearing in more child-friendly segments, blood was gradually reduced, and storylines became less focused on adult themes. The gritty look of Raw was abandoned, hardcore matches became increasingly rare, and the overall tone shifted from rebellious entertainment to something parents could watch with their children. WWE's decision to go HD in 2008 provided the perfect cover for this transition, but industry insiders knew the real motivation. The company needed to rebuild its reputation from the ground up, and that meant abandoning everything that had made wrestling controversial in the first place. Kelly couldn't do her provocative, extreme expose segments anymore. Storylines became less personal, and the general atmosphere had to become more sanitized. WWE was moving away from the crash TV mentality that had defined their success in the late 1990s towards something that could survive mainstream scrutiny. This shift toward PG programming would define WWE's content for over a decade, fundamentally changing how storylines were written, how characters were developed, and what kinds of matches could be presented. However, even as WWE was implementing these changes to salvage their reputation, 2007 still had more tragedy in store. What had already been the darkest period in WWE history became even more devastating as a cascade of wrestler deaths created an atmosphere of genuine fear. The year saw the deaths of Bam Bam Bigelow and Mike Awesome within a month of each other in early 2007. Bigelow was just 45 years old when he died from a drug overdose, while Awesome was only 42. In March, Bad News Brown and Ernie Ladd died within the same week, creating an eerie pattern that had wrestlers genuinely worried about who might be next. June brought the death of Sherry Martel from a drug overdose. The media used each death as evidence of wrestling's toxic culture, creating a narrative that painted the entire industry as a death trap. August brought yet another tragedy when Bryan Adams, known to fans as Crush, died at age 43 from mixing prescribed medications. Beyond the deaths, WWE was dealing with a host of other problems that would have been major crises in any normal year, but seemed almost minor compared to everything else happening. ECW was on life support after Vince McMahon's comedy championship reign killed whatever credibility the brand had left. The cruiserweight division became such a joke that WWE actually put the title on Hornswoggle.
Bro, he was always the most hated. Bro, this big man, bro. Bro, literally, bro. Oh my God, from his start to his end, bro. He was, oh my God, he was something to deal with. Bro, Vince McMahon was something to fucking deal with. You hear me? Holy shit. If anybody know from that era, you know. You know, bro. Holy shit.
Creative teams were constantly rewriting shows due to suspensions, injuries, and other real-world crises interrupting their storylines. The threat of federal intervention loomed over every decision, making company executives paranoid about every aspect of their operation. Looking back at 2007, it's remarkable that WWE survived at all. Any one of these crises could have ended a smaller company. The combination of all of them should have been fatal. Yet, Vince McMahon and the WWE managed to survive the darkest year in history. But let me know what you think. Is WWE today better than it was in 2007? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
It would never be. It would never be. WWE would never be the same. WWE or Raw would never be the same. That's a fact. It will never be the same. Literally, I promise you. I promise you. If WWE and Raw went back to how they was 30, 40 years ago, I swear to God, I swear, I promise you. Even though I know it's still fake, I promise you I will go back to watching wrestling. That's a fact. Cause even though it was fake, it was real. They was getting their ass bust up for real. Like they was actually taking them hits for real, bro. That's what people ain't understanding. They was actually getting their ass bust up for real. And they loved it. Bro, they loved it. They loved it, bro. And they had beefs for real. Yeah. They was actually motherfuckers was actually beefing for real in the locker room. They supposed to be talking about the plan. They actually beefing and fighting for real in the locker room. That's a fact. If you know, you know. I fuck with OG wrestling. That's a fact. I may don't look like it, but I definitely fuck with OG wrestling. Shouts out to my granddad, bro. Shouts out to my granddad. Look at his ass. Look at him. His stupid ass. Look at him. Talking about he 80 years old. Talking about crash. Get the fuck out of here. I bet he looks stupid too. We gonna watch that at the bar. I bet he looks stupid. With fucking business, man. That's my movie. Blue Street. That's my shit. Oh shit.
Hi.
Hey, buddy. Can you help me out something real quick? Can you get a couple more officers?
What's going on?
Somebody said they're going to hurt my family. They wanted me to hurt kids, and I can't do it.
Okay.
So I got to do this.
On November 17th, 2022, outside the Ross County Sheriff's Office in Ohio, security cameras captured a man aimlessly circling the building before approaching the back door and knocking on the window. After briefly walking away, he would eventually be greeted by Sergeant Cochran. Within seconds, the encounter would take a dramatic turn that Ross County deputies would never forget.
Hi.
Hey, buddy. Can you help me out something real quick? Can you get a couple more officers?
What's going on?
Somebody said they're going to hurt my family. They wanted me to hurt kids, and I can't do it.
Okay.
So I got to do this.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Put that down. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down, buddy. Put it down.
He got shot.
No shot.
You're shot?
I'm shot. One. I'm shot in the chest.
Is he gone?
No, he's ran out the door.
Everyone stop.
Oh.
Does he have a gun?
Yes.
Yes. Keep your
Cough, keep her.
No! Ah!
Where you shot at?
The chest.
Right in the chest? I gotta get you moved to cover. Is he down? Hold on, I'm going for help. Stop, keep your gun on. CBD.
No. I'm in the chest.
In the chest?
In the chest. Right there outside the door.
All available units, please go out 150 more force. Shot in the hallway. Shot in the hallway.
Where are you shot at?
Move. He's outside the door.
Where are you shot at?
In the chest.
In the chest. Okay. I'm gonna roll you, okay? I'm gonna roll you.
Can you keep Gallagher. Gallagher. Wait, his gun. Suspect's outside. Suspect's outside. Who's in there?
I don't know.
What do they look like?
He's laying right there outside the door. I hit him.
He's bleeding. I need papers. Yes.
Guys are lying, I believe he's 1016 outside.
Where's your vest?
One suspect. One of our units. You got cuffs?
Here. Gallagher.
Eric, we got this.
I got him. Yeah, cuff him up.
You cuff him, you want to cuff him?
You got it. Go ahead.
I'm sending squad that way now.
Charlotte, look at me. Look at me. Open your eyes. Open your eyes.
Hey, squeeze my hand. Squeeze my hand.
Talk to me.
Where's he hit at, Gallagher? You know?
I don't know yet, buddy.
Okay.
I think I'm hit twice.
Okay. I'm gonna look, okay?
Headquarters have EMS start in. We got him secured in the back.
Eric's inside, Ab. We got him. Eric's in there. We got you, Bubba. We got you, brother. Hey, we have a medic coming down. Hey, man, cut over.
No, stay down. Stay down. Stay down.
The gun's right here, Dobby. Where's he hit? You see where he's hit it right there? He's hit on the side of the head there. I'm away from that gun. I'm away from the gun. Can you get some towel or something for Blair? What do you need? Can you get some towels to hold against his head on the left side there if we can? Where's he hit at in the head? He's in the left side of the head. It looks like. Do we have any idea what happened? Headquarters, tell him to come in. We got a deputy that's shot. They need to get in here. He's hitting the left side of the head right here. I don't know about the deputy over there.
Bud, we're going to have to take your shirt, okay?
Headquarters, we need 2 medics here, one for the suspect too.
I don't see any more holes. I got you.
Keep going, sis.
Look, guys. Eric, open your eyes.
Look at me. Look at me, bud.
Keep it moving.
Keep squeezing my hand.
Okay, there's that one hole in the side, so I don't know if that's it.
Keep breathing, bud. You married, kids or anything?
I think he has kids.
Where's he shot?
In the head.
He got an injury to the head.
Chest
I'm covering the hole. I know.
We're not.
Right
We
here.
can't find an exit wound, but there is a looks to be an injury hole.
You searched him, you had more weapons on him?
I just searched that one pocket. I couldn't get to the other side there. That's the only side I got right there. I couldn't get on the left side.
Let me make sure you don't have more weapons on him.
Ready? I got your army. Everybody good? 1, 2, 3. One more time, Eric.
Slide. There you go. Attaboy.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hey, hold on. Easy. Let me get out.
I got it.
I got it. Hey, let's get him a helicopter.
Dispatch, can you go ahead and start back flight towards
Eric, I'm Jenna. We're worried about you guys in. Okay.
Hold on.
As dozens of officers arrived at the station to tend to the suspect and document the crime scene, Sergeant Cochran was being transported to the hospital with a gunshot wound to the chest. His condition remained unknown, and his survival was uncertain. Deputies on scene had no idea what the next update would bring.
Hi. I don't feel anything else on him. He stopped breathing. He's still gasping. He was gasping for a minute, but he stopped that now. Yeah. He's got. I'm gonna let go of pressure. You want me to let go? Keep holding.
We'll just carry him on the cot.
Scoot him over away from the gun here.
We had an officer shot in the chest. We had a suspect shot in the head.
I think we're going to be doing compressions here in a second.
Okay. Watch your foot. Watch your foot.
I'm going to roll him to his back.
Hey, watch your foot there. Don't step in that blood.
They say he's been searched for weapons.
Yeah, we did a brief search of him, yeah. I checked the pockets as best I could.
We got brass here.
We got cakes.
Yeah. Can you guys clear out of here for us if you don't mind?
Yeah.
We're going to tape this off here.
Yep.
I'll grab some tape in here, Brock.
We need to make this a crime.
I got you right here. I got tape.
We're almost there, man. We're going to turn. Hold on. Be ready. We're going to turn. Right here. There we go. We're almost there, pal.
Yeah, I had him on him, and they took him off when they transported. They got blood all over him, so I'm just sitting down.
You want to go ahead and get those cleaned off and get those out of here.
Sir, his body cam's still active. I didn't take time for that.
That's fine. I'm going to put this in my car.
We can't walk through. There's shell cases everywhere. You got to walk around front. Yeah, watch your step here. Yeah, all up here, there's shell cases all by the door. They're right inside there, too. The first casing's up here by the door, so that's where the first casing starts at, that I seen anyway.
Got your light?
Yes.
Shine that on there for me.
The Ruger 380 looks like.
Yeah.
The suspect, 42-year-old Nicholas Mitchell, who opened fire that afternoon, later died from a gunshot wound to the head. Because he did not survive, investigators were never able to determine a clear motive for the attack. Sergeant Eric Cochran was shot once in the chest near the end of his shift, at a time when he wasn't wearing his ballistic vest. Without that protection, the injury was nearly fatal. Cochran spent 27 days in the hospital, 8 of them in a coma. When he finally woke, he was unable to communicate due to multiple complications and breathing tubes, a struggle that sent him into a deep mental health spiral. He would go on to survive, but the impact stayed with him long after he left the hospital. Those early days of recovery would later become a driving force behind the creation of the Cochran Strong Foundation.
Our main purpose.
Damn, so that fucked him up?
Purposes will be to promote mental health.
The Cochran Strong Foundation is an organization dedicated to providing first responders with accessible, stigma-free mental health support. Built from Cochran's own experience recovering from the shooting.
Every day I think about it. I see the scars, I think about it every day. However, now I see it as battle scars. I've been there, I've done it, I know what I'm talking about, and now I have to fight for the others.
For Cochran, everything he endured became part of a larger purpose.
In my heart, that I was put there for a reason.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. Damn, man. But goddamn good thing he stayed alive, though, bro. You know what I mean? Good thing. Good thing. Good thing he was able to come out of that still. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? I don't know what bro was like. Fuck it, I guess. Bro just said, "Damn, bro, that's a crazy story, bro. That's a crazy story. That's one of the, man, you wouldn't believe it if you seen it, and we seen it, bro. Like, damn, that's crazy, dog. I ain't gonna lie, boy. Holy shit. Tell you, man, people, tell you, dog, people crazy, boy. People wild, bro. This shit wild out here. That's wild, man. Listen, I ain't trying to take no chances. Listen, bro. Hey, boy. Say wrong place at the wrong time. Hey, I ain't trying to be neither. Hey, boy, I ain't trying to be neither. I'm telling you that right now. Hey, man, listen, bro, I got other shit to do. I got other shit to do. That ain't one of them. I'm gonna tell you that right now. All that stupid shit. But like I say, man, good thing. Good thing he scaved away with that with his life, man. So that's a good thing. Um, that will. Well, we gonna take one more shot. Y'all ain't gonna lie, it's about to be over. I'm about to pass out. Smoke the rest of my little dude. I ain't got nothing but a little piece anyway. We gonna take this last shot though, and then we gonna call it a night. You hear me? We gonna call it a desert. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Whew, whew. And with that, I'm going, man. I love y'all, man. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. They say for shit, they might